So here are three EB-1A profile building opportunities for those of you in AI. The first opportunity is Visual AI Hackathon. Just keep in mind that in order to get into some of the top hackathons, you want to have some hackathon experience, and doing smaller scale hackathons like the Visual AI Hackathon at the University of Michigan-Dearborn in 2025 is going to be a great way to build up that hackathon judging experience if you get accepted as a judge at this hackathon. So this is the first opportunity we'll be talking about. The second opportunity is AI DevWorld. So of course it's always best to, it's a top AI conference. It's always best to try to speak at some of these conferences, but AI DevWorld in this situation, in this specific video, I'll be talking about volunteering at AI DevWorld and DeveloperWeek in general. Not really speaking because their submissions have closed and they're only accepting keynote speakers and featured speakers at this point. But even if you don't get accepted as a speaker, you can still go and volunteer at DeveloperWeek and make those connections and meet all kinds of people who could eventually refer you to some very high level, very high quality profile building opportunities in AI. And then the third is AIM 2025. So this is actually geared more towards people who like AI research, who are interested in doing research in AI, but it still gets a crowd of industry professionals. This conference, based on how it's describing itself on its website, it does get a lot of people from industry as well. And most of the speakers are academics. So this could lend itself to a ton of potential opportunities to perhaps work on a paper or work on a publication with an academic in AI. So a lot of you industry professionals I know are looking at authorship. So going to these types of conferences where there is a good mix of professionals, not just industry, not just academics, you want to mix so that you can potentially meet people who are working on publications in AI, so you can potentially co-author something with them, and then as a result have some evidence to show for the authorship criterion. So let's dive first into the first opportunity, which is the Visual AI Hackathon. So if we navigate to the webpage for this opportunity, it's actually pretty simple. And if you look at Visual AI Hackathon in general, you'll see that it's been hosted across many different universities, not just the University of Michigan-Dearborn. And that to me points to the fact that it's an intercollegiate sort of hackathon, where if you potentially judge one of their hackathons, you could be invited to future hackathons at different universities. And the reason why this matters, especially if you're a junior or mid-level professional, is that hackathon judging is still a competitive process. Getting accepted is still a competitive process, which is why you want to be building up your experience by going to these kinds of hackathons and trying to mentor people who attend, if not officially judge. It's still a great way to build up experience for hackathon judging in general, so that you can go for those higher quality or more prestigious hackathons. They're all high quality hackathons, I think. It's just at the end of the day, you want to go to some of those big name hackathons. And in order to get accepted into some of those big name hackathons as a judge, you're going to want to judge lesser known hackathons first as a way to build up experience. And if you attend these kinds of hackathons, you just never know who you might meet. There are still lots of great people who attend these less well-known hackathons. I'm not saying that they're lower quality in any way. I'm just saying that people just tend to go for the big names, and it can be good to have some of those big names as part of your profile, like Stanford Tree Hacks or Caltech's hackathon. Just know that getting into those hackathons is quite difficult as a judge. So start off by judging some of these other hackathons to build up your experience. I also know that a lot of these more prestigious hackathons prefer people with major league hacking experience. So start off not only by building up your experience at these smaller scale hackathons, but also target major league hackathons so that you can build up that kind of experience too, to then bring to the table when you go approach some of these more well-known hackathons. So there's really not that much information on this, except just a brief overview of what this hackathon's about, and then the chance to register your interest. This is just a pretty simple opportunity that you should definitely look into. And there are lots of these different hackathons out there that you can target in order to build up potential evidence for the judging criterion, especially if you're an AI. You should be judging AI-focused hackathons, but you can also judge general software engineering hackathons. Moving on to the second opportunity, AI DevWorld. AI DevWorld is part of DeveloperWeek, which is the largest developer conference in the world, or at least one of the largest developer conferences. And AI DevWorld is specifically focused on executives, engineers, and entrepreneurs at the world's largest AI dev conference. So while they're no longer accepting speakers, because it's probably too late to try to speak at a conference that's happening in February, you can still volunteer if you go to About and then volunteer. So you notice it's part of Developer Week's volunteer program. And even as a volunteer, especially if you're junior or mid-level professional, you can get access to all kinds of professionals just by volunteering. So if you look at volunteer access opportunities, you'll see all these workshops, keynotes that you can attend, open talks, all these events you can attend, and you just never know who you might meet. Because if you do end up meeting, say, an industry professional who then invites you to go speak at another conference, that could definitely happen. You could also get in touch. You could also meet an academic who's working on a paper, or another industry professional who's working on a paper, and potentially you could co-author that paper with them and build up evidence in publications so that you can try to work towards the authorship criterion as well. So there's all kinds of benefits that could come from just being in a place where there are over 2,000 AI executives and entrepreneurs and professionals in general. You just want to be in that kind of room. You want to be in that kind of conference to start making those connections so that you can land some of those more interesting opportunities that might not even be publicly available, but could definitely be available if you're referred to those opportunities. And moving on to the third opportunity, which is this more academic focused conference. So you might think that you should be only going for more industry events, but these kinds of conferences, the AIM 2025 conference, so notice that the speakers, most of them are professors, but that's actually fine, because if you are thinking of working towards authorship and you're an industry professional, getting in touch with a lot of professors and a lot of academics could be a great way to start building up a publication record if you want to meet authorship and you want to start working on scholarly articles. And there's a very particular definition of scholarly articles. There has to be a peer review process, for instance. This is something that's also mentioned in AAO decisions. So working with professors, working with academics could be a great way to start building up that record of publications, which is why you should be attending these kinds of conferences. Even if you don't speak, you can just attend and then maybe even offer to volunteer to help organize events or to drum up interest for the conference. This could in itself be a great way to start getting noticed by these professors, by these top AI researchers. You can also use these professor contacts as a way to get eventually third-party independent references. Say you need some sort of perspective from an AI expert who may not have worked with you personally, but is open to vouching for you because they indirectly know you because you've helped out AIM maybe for the past couple of years. That could in itself be a great way to get the attention of top experts who could then write third-party independent reference letters for you as part of your eventual EB-1A case. That could be a way to create an interesting perspective to your case that you would otherwise not gotten access to had you not attended a conference like AIM 2025. So those are just three opportunities you can go for as an AI professional. It really doesn't really matter where you are. You could be a junior professional, mid-level professional, or extremely senior professional. It's good to just go for these opportunities to just build up that experience. And depending on where you are, some of these activities are probably going to be stepping stone activities. But if you are a very senior professional, you could definitely try to speak at AI DevWorld, maybe in next year's conference, or even try to get them to make an exception right now and accept you as a keynote speaker or as a featured speaker, which is something they're doing definitely right now. Or you could even try to speak at AIM 2025 if you're an extremely accomplished AI professional. This could definitely be something you could want to speak at, especially to get noticed by top AI researchers. But for junior mid-level professionals, maybe you don't have to speak at these conferences. You can still volunteer. You can still offer to organize events, maybe even in your region. Just try to contribute in any way possible to get the attention of some of these people who could then be bringing more opportunities your way that could, again, also be stepping stone activities to some of those higher quality positions that you could get access to maybe a couple of years down the road when you're more senior in your career. So just 3 opportunities to look out for in 2025 if you're an AI professional or even just a software engineering professional in general. I'll be covering more of these opportunities for different fields in the next few videos. And so that's just 3 opportunities for those of you in AI who are looking to build a strong EB-1A profile.